Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Words, Images, and Worlds. On this episode, I'm delighted to be talking with author, poet, editor, Lindsey Goddard. Lindsey, thank you for joining.
I like how you stalled there because the list can go on and on if we wanted it to. I try to dabble in a
Right?
little bit of everything. I just never stop. But thank you so
Yeah,
much for inviting me and having me today.
absolutely. I almost added co-author because I know that you've co-written a couple of collections of short stories as well, and all sorts of things. So glad to be talking with you about your work, and I'm curious what connected you with this world of writing.
Um, well, I've been writing as long as I can remember, but I think my love of it really started with, if you remember those big giant laser discs that we used to play movies on before
Mm-hmm.
DVDs. I
Mm-hmm.
had quite a few of the Shelley Duvall fairy tale theaters when I was little, like 4 years old, 5 years old, just when I was learning to read. And I watched those on repeat, and I think they really gave me a love of storytelling even before I could read and write. And from there, I always sort of found refuge at the library. It's quiet, and I discovered the scary stuff, like scary stories to tell in the dark and goosebumps and all that. And once I discovered the scary stories, it was over for me. I kind of got addicted to them, and I haven't stopped.
Love that, love it. Yeah, and love that show. I have good memories of that too, and trips to the library and all of those sort of things. We had so much good stuff growing up. We really did to connect us with storytelling.
A lot of good input, yeah. It was a good
Yeah.
era in the 80s and 90s for imagination. I think creators weren't as scared, if I may be bold enough to say that, to
Hmm.
express back then. So it was a fun time.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. What attracts you to the scary stories, especially on kind of the authoring side? What does that let you explore?
Well, going back to childhood, whenever I would read, I was always a huge fan of the choose your own adventure books, where the
Hmm.
outcome's always different. And I think that's a lot of the appeal of writing for me, because I mean, my audience only gets the one outcome, but I get to kind of explore different avenues about what could happen here with that character and what could happen here. And it gives you power, and you can control the outcome. And especially with topics we can't control in life, like death. You can play God as an author. I don't mean to sound like a psycho, but it is a certain appeal. Being able to control your setting and your characters, and have the ending how you want it. So
Yeah, yeah. I am one of those people that will watch a movie or read a book and think, if only I could jump in and change this part. And there's a little bit of me that hopes every time I see the movie or read the book, I could do that.
yeah, or just screaming at the TV.
Yeah, yeah.
I can be frustrating to watch movies with, or I'll just blurt out what I think is going to happen. And then when it happens, everyone gets mad at me for it. Like, I can't help it if I saw that coming. It's called foreshadowing. I'm good at picking it up, and I'm good at doing it. So,
Oh,
yeah.
it's a skill. Uh,
Yeah.
I, sorry.
Oh, no, that was it.
Oh,
Just
okay.
me giggling.
I, I am curious because I know that you do editing as well, and I love editing for inviting like voices to the space and creating that place for people to share. Just curious about what that's like as a writer to move to editor and back and forth on that.
Overwhelming, if I'm going to be completely transparent. Um, Going from authoring to editing, because it's not as much of that free reign like I was just talking about. I can't just do whatever I want. It is a process. So rewarding though when you're curating a book and selecting the stories for it and developing that relationship with those authors. It's really a relationship that lasts for life. I actually was at a convention in October of last year, and an author I had published, I think we figured out it was in 2008 in my e-zine.
Hmm.
He reconnected with me, and that that was really cool because it creates a bond that lasts forever. Um, but the editing work, it's a process for sure. I admire editors who are out there doing that as their thing that they're doing all the time because it's trying on the patients for sure. But
Yeah,
I get through
yeah,
it because I guess I love pulling together the stories from the different authors and uniting them on one theme and just seeing what all these different creative minds come up with, and putting them all together. It's just something I love to see the result of.
yeah. Uh, what about that move from poetry to short fiction? What does that feel like to you as a creator?
Poetry, I feel like I need it in addition to the fiction because it's more of a free expression. There's not as many rules and boundaries with poetry. It's more like raw emotion. And so I feel like I've always needed that in my life, to balance out the fiction writing so that my soul can just bleed. And no one can tell me, oh, well, you should have done it this way or that way, or it needs this punctuation. It's like, well, my soul just bled, so just read it. So um, I've always written poetry in addition to the fiction as far back as I can remember. I think I need them both.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, both have their own affordances for sure, and I do appreciate the poetry that you do as well as the fiction, capturing that essence of the soul. Absolutely. So I know you're a pretty prolific person. Anything that you're currently working on, or anything that listeners can expect next, or any avenues that you'd like to explore in creating?
Well, the funny thing is, technically, I am prolific, but it's mainly with the short fiction and the poetry. So it's kind of an ongoing joke with my inner circle of friends. I've got one novel out there, but you would think at this point I'd have more than one novel out there. Um, I've been in anthologies, I've been in magazines and on podcasts and everything with these shorts. So I'm trying to get a second novel out, and I promised myself I will have it done by the end of 2026. If I can get it done sooner, that'd be great. And I'm actually working on another poetry collection as well because it's a follow up to my last one.
Nice, nice. Love it. If I am a listener and I want to find out more about you, are there particular places that I should go online, in person, or anything like that?
Yeah, I've got lindseybethgoddard.com. You can always find me there. But I also get up to a lot of fun shenanigans and hijinks over at weirdwideweb.org. I'm the editor in chief of weirdwideweb.org. We're taking a little bit of a break right now because I wore myself out with the shenanigans, but we've done paid writing contests that have prizes, and we're always putting out blogs. We've got a podcast, which will be coming back soon. You never know what might be up over at weirdwideweb.org, so you can find me there too, in addition to lindseybethgoddard.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. Did we miss anything that you want to make sure to include before we close out?
Um, Well, they're my two most recent books, if anyone is interested in my work. I have one co-written with author Susie Lockhart, and
Hmm.
that collection between us contains both short fiction and poetry, and it's called Come What May, and you can find it on pretty much every book platform. And the most recent anthology that I edited is a funny one. It is horror fiction, so it's going to scare you and make you giggle, and it's called Tales from the Lark Side, and you can find that on Amazon.
Very nice, very nice. Well, Lindsay, many thanks for the time. You're welcome back anytime to talk about projects, podcasts, stories, fiction, poetry, or anything else, and I greatly appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much for having me. I had fun.
Anytime, anytime.